Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, as well as sharing some of my hints and tips on how to play this game and how to also beat this game. So without further ado, let's get on with it, shall we? Right, so without further ado, let's get on with it. Load up my data. So we've gone to Free Jewel. Just have a quick browser. So obviously here you start off with like the easy ones, and then like when you battle Heishin, it's just like, you know, you have to lose. Like there's no other way to do it. You have, like, even if you beat him, I can't remember what happens if you actually beat him in the campaign, but I know in like you always lose because your deck is nowhere near strong enough to deal with him, because he has monsters, you know, 3500 attack and below that. You know, he doesn't have any monsters, I don't think, below 2000 attack, but you barely ever see any ones about 2000 attack, so you know, you're destined to lose that one. Then obviously you move on, you've got much bigger enemies here, and obviously you've got the final three. Duel Master K is basically you, so you're basically fighting your own deck, which is quite interesting. I've done it a few times before. This time round playing it, I never actually did. High Mage Kapura is definitely the hardest one. Like he's got Gate Guardian, so 3750 attack. What you'll find on this game is that 3750... sorry, not that. The biggest attack, like, is the point. So, like, where in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! And not real life Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, it's all about strategy and stuff like that. But in this game, it literally comes down to highest attack wins, because you can only play one card per turn, unless you've got set spells that you've put in a previous turn and stuff like that. Now, as you can see here, the Meadow Mage, 247 wins to 3 losses. He is the most important person you will fight on this game, especially in Free Duels, because at the beginning, like when you get up to people like Mai and Bandit Keith, like they are quintessential as well, because they start giving you the bigger monsters and stuff you can use and to fuse with. But we'll get on to fusion in a minute. So where shall I start? I'll choose someone relatively easy. So we'll go with Mai, just as a thing. And obviously my deck is really, really powerful at this point. I've got everything I pretty much need. Obviously I've beaten the game with this deck, so it's not like I was quite lucky, but I'll get into that in a minute. Well, at this point it doesn't really matter, because against people like Mai, you realise when you draw a monster this big, you've won anyway. Just because she doesn't have anything powerful enough, and even if you wait for the fuse cards, like 9 times out of 10 she won't have anything powerful enough. So we're going to go ahead and make our first Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Now, the Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon strategy is definitely the best strategy you can play on this game by far. Like, as a fusion strategy, because like the other strategies, the only other real better strategy is just to have the same kind of deck as Heishin and the other big ones, like having monsters with so much attack that, you know, nothing they do can get over it. Whereas the Twin-Headed Thunder strategy is by far the best like strategy you can use, you know, in essence. So obviously just equipping my Skull Knight here. And you know, that's the point really, is that you can beat these people so quickly. And they are 1850, I think it's her biggest monster that she has, Mai does. So, and those kind of monsters really help you get through fighting Bandit Keith and that, and you get more monsters to fuse as well. So as you can see, that was a cakewalk, you know, it's quite easy. So obviously I've got the winner POW, so I've got S rank, obviously, which is the highest, so I've got 5 star chips for that, which is like currency to use codes to get other cards. I've got Crawling Dragon 2, which at this point would be a good card, because Crawling Dragon 2 is a dragon with 1600 attack, so all you need to do is fuse that with a Thunder Monster, like I did with the Kaminari attack and the Metal Dragon, to make Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. So, you know, automatically you've got yourself a Twin-Headed right there, if you had a Thunder Monster already. But yeah, I mean, again, my deck is literally built around just making Twin-Headed Thunder as quickly as possible. You know, you need things, because there's POW. So the red thing you saw, the POW, was because of obviously using the monsters. Whereas if you use more spells in a game, you get the blue one, which is Tech, TEC, and that normally means you'll get a spell card or a trap card over a monster, which has been really helpful. I found that watching another YouTuber, I can't remember what his name is, but I watched it and it was like, yeah, so once I found that out, it was really easy and really simple. So I'm going to fight the Meta Mage. Again, like, fighting him, he gives you so much. Like, the first time I ever played this game, he gave me like 3 Meteor Bee Dragon, which is 3,500, which, you know, against people like Heishin and that are literally the best. And here we are here. We've opened up, you know, literally everything we need to equip and, you know, to make my dragon huge, I think. I'm pretty sure Dark Energy works. I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it does. Yeah, it does. So, yeah. So, exactly. So, nearly as powerful as a Blue Eyes Ultimate at this stage. I don't need to do anything to him. Normally, I turn the Moon against him because sometimes he'll have Millennium Shield, which is 3,500. But it'll go up to like 4,000 on this because Pluto's weak against Uranus. So, again, here, like, I can activate Umi to boost my Thunder Dragon up to 48. And, you know, automatically it makes it so he's lost, you know, only 5,000 life points off the bat. So hands like that are really great. So obviously, again, now he's wasting his time activating Sogen, which is the Meadow Field. And now he's going to lose in 2 turns, you know. And I've got access to 2 more Thunder Dragons in my hand, as well as Widespread Ruin, which destroys anything 4,000 or below when you attack. So again, like you saw there, you know, in order to make the twin-headed, though, the fusion monster has to be, like, the dragon or the thunder monster has to be beyond 1,600 attack points for you to make twin-headed. So again, we've got A rank, we've got power, and we've got first crawling dragon, which again is another 1,600 dragon you can use to make twin-headed. And again, like, obviously, when you fight these guys, the mages, during the campaign, you will fight them, you know, on their respective fields. So, like, Umi will already be active, and Mountain will already be active, and Wasteland will, and Meadow will, and Forest will. Like, High Mage Anubisius has got Perfectly Armored Great Moth as his highest monster, which is 3,500. You don't actually rarely see it when you fight him, so he's relatively easy. The Twin-Headed Thunder strategy makes, like, High Mage Atenza and Sekmeton or something, I don't know, easy because of their fields, but the big High Atenza, he does have Black Skull Dragon, which does go beyond your Twin-Headed unless you've got Umi over the mountain. Again, Kapura is really tough the first time you fight him. Heishin II, his biggest monster is Gate Guardian, because obviously the first one, his biggest monsters, first Heishin you fight, the biggest monster is Meteor Bee and Perfectly Armored Great Moth, whereas this one is different. And then you've got obviously Dark Knight, which he's quite mellow, but then Nightmare has Blue Eyes Ultimate and stuff like that. So does Seto the Third, he has Blue Eyes Ultimate. I can't remember how I actually beat them, but they were definitely like the ones that were easy. Oh, well, not easy, but they were the ones that time round fighting them was easy, and I managed to complete the game. But obviously, I don't think I was able to bring out anything close to being the attack strength of the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So, and then obviously the Labyrinth Mage, he has Gate Guardian as well, which you've got to be fearful of, but again, he rarely does have it. Pegasus has Meteor Bee Dragon as well, so you've got to be really careful. He doesn't always have it as well, like that's a rarity. He always seems to pop up with Blue Eyes as well from time to time. But if you play the game using the twin-headed strategy, you usually get to this point and you can beat it with ease. Or if he's not got the Blue Eyes, then it's fine anyway. I'm going to try and fight this Heishin, I think. Let's have a go at the big guy. But yeah, I'm not going to change anything with the new cards because my deck's fine the way it is. You do fight both Heishins on dark fields as well, on the Yami, so it increases dark monsters, of course. So again, here I've got access to lots of thunder monsters and stuff, but I am going to put down the Skull Knight just to kind of test the waters, Because any time you face Heishin, especially in a free duel, you always have to test the waters of what he's got. But you can usually tell what he's got when you see the sign. So because it's Moon, because of the amount of times I fought him, you know that it's going to be, I knew it was going to be a Black Skull Dragon. But now we've got the ability to make a twin-headed and equip him big enough that he's going to be able to beat the Skull Dragon, which means at this stage I'm probably going to win, just because he's not, which means he's going to summon everything. That was his strongest monster. So usually every time you fight an opponent, they will always put down the strongest monster, hence the whole point of attack points beats whatever. So that's not obviously the main objective, like I said. So again, like you see, he's going into the fence, which proves that again he doesn't have anything at this stage. He doesn't have what he needs. Obviously, I'll attack with a bigger monster in case it's like Wall Shadow. There you go, with 3,000 attack. And then you just attack him directly. Like Dark Magician and Skull Knight and stuff I got off the Meadow Mage. Like I said, he is very good for giving you big monsters, especially Meteor Bees. But all the times I fought him this time round playing the game, he's never actually given me one, which is really funny for me, because every time I've got to him before in the game, he never actually does it. He always gives me, I always end up with 3 Meteor Bee Dragons. But this time round was like the first time actually completing the game before for me, so it was quite tough. But I got there. I was really excited because I've never completed it, and this is one of my favourite games just because I know it off the top of my head. It's really good. So it's fun to play it this way, for sure. Okay, right, where am I? Sorry. He's got Zoa out. He's got little life points left at this stage, so he'll lose 2. He'll lose. Oh, okay, never mind. I'll just put this Kaminari attack down and I can win. But like I said, the more spells you use in a game, the more likely you are to get Spell or Trap, and that's how I managed to get all the equipped cards and stuff. Because like the problem is with like terrain altering cards like Mountain and Umi is the fact that because you can only activate 1 card per turn, it makes it really difficult. Because you can't do anything. Obviously you can't summon a monster to defend you. So normally I set them, so then when I do have the right card, but I'll be able to use it to my advantage. But because I might fight him again actually. Because he's able to do what he does, because you're able to do what you do with twin-headed strategy, it just makes it so much easier. Yeah, thanks Heishin for that useless card. Obviously, whatever deck you start out with, you will be able to make fusion monsters. So, like any kind of rock monster and a female monster will make Mystical Sand, which is a really good fusion. You will have what else will you be able to have? You will have like a fire monster and a beast will usually make Flame Cerberus, which is another great fusion. They're quite the staple fusions as you play the game. Ones that will really help you as time goes on. So he's put Cosmo Queen out, which I know is weak to Moon. So we're gonna turn my twin-headed into Moon, which means we'll be able to get over the Cosmo Queen. That's really important as well, to make sure you remember what sign is good against what. It does tell you in the instruction manual, so I do recommend you read that ahead of time if you are going to play the game. But like I said, it's quite simple in that respect. So he's got a Moon in defense. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to beat it necessarily, because it could be a Wolf Shadow, or it could be a Zero the Mant, which is also 2800. So I'm going to check what it is. It's a Zoa, so 26 is his highest now, which means my Skull Knight should survive this next turn he has, and I probably will win next turn as well. But as you see, obviously duels won't last very long. The longer the bigger the deck you have, like the better deck you have. But at the same time, like, again, that will work to your advantage because you'll get better cards, even though it really does depend who you're against, though, because obviously, like you saw from the beginning, like the Heishin gave me Genin for beating him, and that's not a great card by any means. It's alright though, I guess. But yeah, there are so many other fusions you can make in the game. Like, a stone monster and a rock monster and a dragon will make a stone dragon. Trying to think. Oh, speaking of stone dragon, that's exactly what we got from Heishin. I might actually add that to my deck actually, because I don't think I even have one. Right, we'll fight the Meta Mage again and see what we get. Yeah, I'm going to add Stone D to my things. Like I said, a Rock Monster and a Dragon will make that. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to take one of those out and put in the Stone Dragon. But yeah, it just does come down to just how much you play this game. Because like, once you know how to play the game actually goes really fast. But the actual trouble is you know, you will kind of come across a stage where, you know, because it'll look like it'll go really fast, and then like once you get up to like Mine Bandit Keith, you kind of slow down a bit because the free jewels are so important against them. So that, you know, you know, without a doubt, you have to like, grind with it. You know, you have to get those monsters because you will not get any further unless you maximize your deck with fusion monsters and, you know, other things that will help you to make your deck better. Because again, the thing I don't really like, the attack point is the best kind of thing approach, because obviously there are other Yu-Gi-Oh games like Dawn of Destiny on the Xbox that are okay games, but like, I don't know, like for the most part, like this and like Jewels of the Roses is Jewels of the Roses is one of my favourite ones. Probably one of the first ever games I actually ever played on the PS2, and it's so good. So good. So the Meta Mage clearly hasn't got a Meadow, so he's going down for the count quite quickly. Like I said, setting Umi like that point, even though I sacrifice some life points, it helps me in the long run. Which, you know, is pretty similar to normal Yu-Gi-Oh as well. You know, that stuff will happen. Well, I guess we're just going to summon him because we're clearly one at this stage. What do we think that is? We're going to go that just in case. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is one of those games where you know, again, like the free dueling is so important. So when you get to Mine Bandit Keith, you must free duel them to build your deck better. So you can beat Kyber, you can beat Pegasus, because Pegasus has got Bickery Box, which is 2300, which is like his biggest one outside of playing against without his Meteor Bee Dragon. So, and then obviously Kyber's got Blue Eyes, but then everything else is quite small for him. But yeah, the mages are quite tough, depending on, you know, the bigger mages are tough, but that's only like if, again, like depending on what your deck's built like. As I said, the best fusion strategy is Twin-Headed hands down, just because that is the biggest fusion you can make. Because obviously, unlike normal fusion monsters, so when you think about stuff like Blue Eyes Ultimate, like they already have it. You know, it's already a monster in their deck. You know, so there's no extra deck. There's no, you know, place for them to be. You know, that's that. You know, they're not going to get any. It's not going to be any different. Because like obviously, as you start, there will be the strategy of summoning the biggest monster. So Flame Cerberus and Mystical Sand are probably two of the staple fusions that you will be summoning when playing this game. And there are other fusions you can do that aren't necessarily as good. So like Magical Ghost is like a stone, like a rock monster and a zombie. Pumpkin, the King of Ghosts, is usually something as well. But yeah, I mean, it's okay though. Like some of them, I mean, like you can make Pumpkin, you can make Stone Ghost, and lots of other ones. You know, you just have to think. Well, okay, it's a fire monster and a beast makes Flame Cerberus. A rock and a female monster makes Mystical Sand, and then you've got other ones like the other thing. Don't get confused with certain things especially when trying to play this deck. So like, if you're gonna do Twin-Headeds, or you're gonna like do a fusion of 3, so like you make a bigger dragon with like a small dragon and another creature, and then you make something else, like a what? Like a. So you're gonna make like if you're gonna make a Stone D, so like a smaller dragon, a rock monster, and a thunder monster. You just got to remember that like certain things will be different. So like the attack points matter. So you have to know what makes what. So what has the bigger attack points? You know, what has the strongest elements to it. You know, it's quite a complex thing to think about in a way, because you're really thinking about how you're going to maximize on this. Now, you know, for me, I've played this game now. I'm trying to think how many times I've played it now. Probably 2 or 3 times now. I was going to put it in the middle one, but anyway. But yeah, I play the strategy every time because there is just no other way to do it. Like, to really maximize on it, this is what you want to do. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So we're playing against Heishi in the second. So his biggest monster is Gate Guardian. So if he's got a monster face down defense, that means it's probably Wolf Shadow at this point, which means he hasn't got a what is it? He hasn't got a Gate Guardian. The one thing you find about Heishin is he has traps, so he will literally be able to, like, 9 times out of 10 it'll be Widespread Ruin, which again destroys anything basically. So no, you're destined to lose on that one. So he's got Black Skull Dragon, so that's his weakest one so far, kind of thing. I'm kind of stuck because I've got the ability to make twin-headed, and I've got equip cards, but I can't actually use any of them because I don't want to use any of them on the dragons to make them stronger when I can't get over the Black Skull Dragon. And I want to be able to get a I want to be able to get to make twin-headed, so I can not only activate Umi but power it up. But obviously his trap card might be a problem for me. Oh, I still haven't got it. Oh. So annoying. I might actually lose this one. But again, you know, like, that's the problem. Like with some of these, is like, especially in the free duels, like there will be times where you lose, depending on what it is you're obviously playing against. So obviously Heishi in the second is quite a tough guy anyway. But that's always the problem. Like in normal Yu-Gi-Oh, you just got to draw the right cards, because otherwise you just won't get anywhere. You know, you won't be able to build the deck you want to and whatnot, so it's a bit silly in that respect. But we'll fight him again, why not? I mean, that would have been like a great thing if I'd drawn a Thunder Monster, because I would have been able to wipe him out, any of his monsters. But I'd probably have to leave it first and then set off the trap card with a different monster. Where are we going to go? So we're against Heishi in a second again, aren't we? So I'm going to set Acid Trap Hole first. Again, like, all my traps and my spells usually all came from oh hello, Harpy's Feather Duster. Never mind. From, again, just using as many spells as you can, which is why I've got 2 Umi and a Mountain in there, just to maximise on it, helping you with the twin-headed strategy. I mean, Umi's much better because, especially the Mountain, because you don't want to increase their monsters, like their dragons as well. Because twin-headed on a field of Mountain won't beat Black Skull Dragon. Whereas, like, you know, a twin-headed with an equip card will certainly beat him on Mountain, but Umi is definitely the better choice. So clearly I'm not doing very well again, because I'm stuck with dragons and equip cards and no actual thunder monsters. I literally don't have a thing, do I, against him? I mean, I could give the Stone D the equip cards, or the blacks, or I could even give the Cursed Dragon the equip cards, and he would have no choice but to get rid of it. But then it's like, at this stage I might just have to, because he'll just summon another monster and he will beat me, so I am going to have to make a leeway into actually summoning a bigger monster just to survive at this stage. I've got the same stats as Dark Magician now. So obviously I can't be over it, so I'm just going to have to leave my dragon where it is. So again, like the thing about Heishin is he won't actually leave his creatures. He won't actually leave them in. He'll only rarely put ones in defense mode, because he'll normally choose to only put the ones in defense that are like Labyrinth Wall or Wall Shadow. He won't do it for ones that are like big ones like Metal Zoa and that, because it's like there's no point to him. Whereas other people will do that, and that will be an advantage for you. Because some people won't attack because it will be a factor of, you know, a fear factor for sometimes. Especially if you put a monster in face down attack, because they definitely do it as well, which is quite the interesting thing. But you know, it's again, like, it always comes down to who the person is, how you face them, what deck you're using. Because obviously at the beginning you only have small monsters, but you can obviously make fusions still. And obviously you can get Exodia on this as well, which is a thing. Oh, we drew a Gate Guardian, but my widespread ruin put an end to that. So right, what was he on? He is on 51, so that'd be 18. So I just need to put the dragon down and I'll win. Excellent. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's like a lot of different things in this game. Obviously, people play it differently, but this is definitely the best strategy to like get through the game, you know, at a pace that you're happy with, and you know, you can just get as many dragons and as thunder monsters as you can. Well, I got Wood Remains, which is a prime example of, again, if you use a smaller plant with a smaller zombie, it will make Wood Remains, whereas if the plant or the zombie exceeds 1,000 attack points, it will be a pumpkin. So that's what you've got to remember as well. Just the attack points will be a variation of what fusions you will actually be able to summon. Who am I facing? I'm facing Dark Knight, aren't I? So I don't know. I can't remember what his biggest monster actually is. I actually don't know. I completely forgot what it is. I don't actually know a lot about what he does, so I'm gonna put my Dark Magician down. Like I said, fighting the Meta Mage, the 250 times I've beaten, or more plus, that I've fought him, he is literally the quintessential part. Like, you will not be able to get past Kapura, like, the majority of the time, unless you do indeed have, you know, this strategy in place, or something better, like having the Meteor Bees and stuff like that. But not necessarily the Meteor Beast, because you will need to be able to have the equipped cards and stuff as well. Because obviously Dark Knight and Nightmare will be, and Seto the Third will have Blue Eyes Ultimates. Dark Knight won't, I don't think, but the other two will. So it is very important that you build your deck up. You know, the free draws are very important. Like, if you can rack up your star chips that you win from every battle, then you will be able to get good cards. But obviously the biggest, better cards are all like 9, every like 6 or 7 like placements of the codes does indeed make, you know, so you have 99999 or something for like the bigger monsters, and obviously that's a hell of a lot of grinding to do, whereas you can obviously just do stuff like fight the Meta Mage or stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's very different, you know. But it's a great game though. Like, if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, even if you're not into like the main game, the real life like card game, you know, this is definitely somewhat worth playing. George of the Roses as well is a very interesting strategic one, and fighting Nightmare, this is definitely a very interesting hand to come into, because it's like I've got everything I need to bump up my twin-headeds, and I've got stuff to stop him, but obviously it depends on what he's got. So, you know, so he summoned one, so he's got Gate Guardian, which means no Blue Eyes Ultimate, so that's key for me. Again, like, I'm going to set Umi at this point because I don't have the dragon. What you have to remember as well, Dark Hole on this does get rid of everything on the field, spells and traps included. So if you're going to use Dark Hole, then I urge you to be careful. Make sure that you use your spells if you can, you know, for that, because it's very important to make sure you do that before you use Dark Hole. Because, like I said, unlike you do have Raigeki on this as well, so, and that does exactly what it says it does. You know, it destroys all monsters on your opponent's side of the field. Where again, Dark Hole will destroy all monsters on the field in real life, but obviously on this, like I said, it destroys every card on the field. So, you know, you've got to be careful about that. So yeah, I'm pretty much there now. Nearly strength of a Blue Eyes ultimate. But as you can see, because he had Gate Guardian and then Meteor B, he doesn't have the Blue Eyes ultimate, so therefore he's just going to now have to do something just to do this. I keep Roaring Ocean Snake in my deck just because you can't actually make Twin-Headed with him. At least I don't think you can. But because I use Umi, it's just like he's the strongest monster I have that will benefit from Umi. So you might as well just play it. Lackluster Soldier. See, again, like there's no ritual monsters or anything like that. You know, there's no rituals or anything like that. It's just literally, you know, you make the fusions like you've seen me make the Twin-Headeds and stuff like that. The fusions that I've talked about. You know, and the simple fact that again, you know, there's no other things like that. So it's very much, you have to be strategic in the sense that you have to play each card very carefully. Especially like when you're late into the game, when you're fighting the bigger people, like the high mages and stuff like that. But, you know, all in all, it's definitely, you know, it's a great experience. It's quite short once you've grinded enough, like you just power through so fast, which is okay, like against the smaller mages and stuff like that. But like bigger mages, like I said, once you get up to Kapura, he is literally the hardest one because of Gate Guardian. Because obviously, because his field starts off with Meadow, so his Gate Guardian is already on 4,250. So, you know. So as you saw there, I got the tech one because I used multiple spells, but obviously I've still got a monster, but again, it's not guaranteed to always get a spell or a trap when you get the tech one. But you do, you know, it's more than likely you will. But yeah, you know, it's something I know, Danny, if you're watching, you've definitely played this game. I definitely recommend it. Such a good game. George the Roses as well. I might play a bit of that as well as my next gameplay video. Oh, fusion. Oh, so he's making Vermilion Sparrow, so he's clearly not got enough of anything. He hasn't got this Meadow field or anything ready to go. Which means I can happily summon Skull Knight and leave the other Umi there because I don't need to activate it yet, because there's no point. Not without a Twin-Headed, anyway. But yeah, you know, like, that's the whole strategy. You know, you've got to really focus on what it is. You know, this has to be the best strategy. I know I keep saying it, but it's so true. Like, unless you want to try and grind out and, you know, not, like, you know, not play, or just trying to get the bigger monsters like Skull Knight and stuff, you have to wait till the Meadow Mage, because no one else gives you such powerful monsters like that. Like Mind Bandit Keith are essential to build your deck, so you can do other fusions like birds, like as in like Crimson Sunbird, because any bird above 1300 attack and a fire monster will make Crimson Sunbird. So there are like stuff like Flame Cerberus and all that are staple fusions that you can use. But again, later on in the game like this, when you've got Dark Magicians and Skull Knights and Firewing Pegasus is another big one. So you don't need to, the fusions are important because obviously unless you build a deck around doing it, like, because obviously this is your only deck, so if you're going to completely change your deck, you would have to build a lot over a period of time to get there. Whereas obviously for me, I've done, you know, all these duels against the Meadow Mage and I got nothing. There's countless hours I spent sitting here grinding against these people and trying to get the cards I needed. But you know, yeah, it's very much so one of those things where it becomes second nature to you. Once you get everything, once you know how to do everything, it's so easy. Because you know, especially when you go into a game where you know what the opponent has and what they're going to do, and then you just make the card stuff, and you go, well, that's easy. I can do that. I know, knowing here, doing this, knowing I know I'm going to win because now I have a 3800 attack creature, and I've changed the terrain. So normally he's just going to change it to mountain to meadow again, if he can. But this time he can't. So it means I'm not going to win now because I'm in next turn. However, of course, now I can bring another Twin-Headed Thunder into the world. Here, and give it a nice equip. I can't remember how many equip cards I've got in this deck. I think I've got I've got loads of Bright Castles and stuff like that. So I think that is how I beat them. It's just equipping my dragons and making them huge. So you're able to literally take out everything. And again, you know, that's definitely the best strategy to make. Because I don't actually know of any others. Like, I don't actually know if there's any like real, like, hand on heart ones that are kind of the same level as that. Because obviously, this is like the only one I've really focused on. Because this is the one I know. Like, you could make other things. You could like make a darker. You could with like the equip cards and stuff. Like, it really does depend. Well, this Meta Mage isn't giving me a lot. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't want it to be too long. I hope you got some hints and tips out of that if you are going to play the game. I know it was quite short. Some of the gameplay. Sorry if I rambled on a bit. I'm just trying to give out some of my own personal hints and tips that I found while playing this game for as long as I have. I've really enjoyed it. I plan to do Jewels to the Roses next. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comment section below and what you thought about the video. And also make sure you hit that like button and subscribe down below. Turn the bell on for notifications of my latest uploads. I'm really getting back into uploading on a regular basis now. And for those of you who've watched my Lord of the Rings Let's Plays, I do apologise. So what happened was I literally filmed them in a couple of days. I filmed all of them, like the whole missions of all the good campaign. And then unfortunately I got copyrighted on the next two, the part 3 and 4 that I uploaded. So I did what I did in my Christmas video and trimmed out the thing, but unlike trimmed out the music that was copyrighted, but unlike the Christmas video where the copyright claim went away, they stayed in the videos, and then I kept trimming it down all the time to the point where it was like the copyright claim was still there, so I just got rid of them. And I don't really want to take the other two off, like, because, well, I don't know, I just don't want to take them off, to be honest. I mean, I could have re-uploaded the other ones just with, like, just put other music over it or something, and it would have been easy. Well, I might do that. I'm not 100% sure. Depends, I guess. But, yeah, I'm probably going to play Jewels to the Roses next. And just show you guys the differences between that and this. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section below if you do plan to get this game, or if you have got this game and it's giving you the motivation to play it again. I recommend, you know, make sure you check the fusions. You know what you're going to have. Gather the star chips as much as you can. You know, the list is all online that you can find to like what cards and how much they cost in star chips. And you know, I recommend the twin-headed strategy by far. Definitely the best strategy for me, and beat that Meta Mage to a pulp. You know, I've fought him now 255 times. So as you can see, the losses were at the very beginning because obviously, you know, my deck wasn't as good then. But obviously 252 wins, I just managed to build my deck to a degree where it's a really good deck now, and I love it. Obviously, again, it depends what you draw, but that's it really. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, like I said, and as usual, guys, thank you for watching and subscribing. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing, and take care of yourselves.